Ya yo, everyone. That is the voice of your Yonko host, Dr. Jace Attorney, back with the Yonko table yet again with Spider-Man, specifically your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, the season 1 finale. I'm sure we have a lot to say about this series. It's just, to kind of temper where we're going here with what direction. I would say it's a breath of fresh air from where we left off with Brave New World, Captain America. I know some people's opinions have changed since our last pod. Some people think it's a positive movie, but we're not here to talk about that. We're not here to talk about mid. We're here to talk about something spectacular, something friendly, something within our neighborhood. But with me, as always, is fellow Yonko Grandmaster Hoop. Now, Grandmaster Hoop, I know you're a Marvel shill. I know you're going to just probably glaze this series, but I know you're going to attempt to be critical in some aspects of this. Tell me, did season 1 of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man just do enough for you to say, Kevin Feige's back, the MCU is back, we're eating again?
Not everything has to be attributed back to Kevin Feige. These projects have many writers and their own creative teams that I don't even think Kevin Feige is touching this like that. So if I'm going to give credit to the show for anything, I'm going to give it to them first. Jeff Tramiel throwing his name out there. I think he was the showrunner. I'm a credit him first. Credit where credit is due. This series, this Spider-Man series, dare I say, might just be probably the best Spider-Man series to date.
What?
And I'm just talking TV. I'm just talking TV series.
I mean, obviously we're limiting it to just that,
right.
Yeah. But still,
right.
that's saying a lot.
Well, let me rephrase. If someone wanted to argue that this is the best Spider-Man series to date, I would say I'd be willing to hear out their argument. I think this show does a lot of good things different, and they capitalized here on this finale. I thought this finale was actually really good. And I'm genuinely excited to see what happens in season 2. This is just some of the best character work I've seen in a Spider-Man show since Spectacular, since the 90s series, and those are pretty much my top series when it comes to Spider-Man. And I would say, yeah, anybody who finds that they really enjoyed this show and it's their favorite, I think they have an argument, and I'd hear them out.
Wow.
The show did good stuff. I appreciate what this show did.
I guess. But I hear a groan. Our first supernova to come on in for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, Toasty. Toasty, I have an idea of what you're probably going to say. Nothing happened. The show was mid. It wasn't as good as Eternals. Am I on the money with this?
Well, to begin with, I thought this was the Yonko podcast, not Krispy Kreme, the way Grandmaster was glazing it. I thought it was a donut. But
hardly a glaze.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a glaze. The best series? I don't know. That's a glaze.
Let's limit ourselves.
I mean, it's not a wide list.
It's okay. Unlike the audience, we know you've been sick the last couple of days, so you probably have dementia or memory loss over the golden years, but that's okay. I like the show, the ending. Yeah. I'm not gonna glaze it. It has this good moment. The story is what keeps it up. And like we can talk about later, the animation in this episode was better than the first 9 episodes combined. That's what carried it. And that's why I can't say it's the best show. I'm not going to judge a show based on one episode. I'm going to judge it based on the entire track, 1 to 10.
Yeah. No, that's totally fair. I mean,
my critique was of the whole season, just not just this episode.
Critic? Are you sure that was criticism?
I mean, we'll get more into it, but
if we're just keeping it general for now, I was thoroughly surprised how much I enjoyed your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, especially with the season finale.
You enjoyed him. Marvel.
Wow, it's almost as if
It's in his brain. Get it out.
It's
Get it out.
No,
He
it's
looked at his
almost.
phone. It flashed.
It's almost. Oh no! Stop that. See, that's a terrible reference. That's a terrible reference. But you see, it's almost as if when you watch the promotional material or marketing material for a series or movie before going in, you can have an opinion on what it's on how that piece of media is going to be like. With Brave New World, you know what? Let me not even get into that. We're not here to talk about Brave New World. That movie looked like it was going to be ass. I went in expecting ass. I got ass from Brave New World. Here,
I have a better example for you.
Let's
not even talk about a movie. Let's compare another show that you guys cover in this podcast, The Acolyte. We kept waiting every episode, and every episode disappointed, or every episode was subpar, like this show. Up until the ending, which they show carry, but The Acolyte just fell into that hole they were praying around.
Right.
Oh,
no,
this show is nowhere near in the inconsistencies.
That's right.
Of the Acolyte.
That's why it's the opposite. Where I'm coming into this show before watching episode 1, I'm like, the MCU is ass right now. This show's gonna be terrible. The animation looks like ass. I really don't care for this show. And then as we start watching the show, the animation is still ass. But like Toasty was saying earlier, that storytelling and characterization was really doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And that was consistent throughout the series. I know we had some complaints with episode 1, I think, in particular, with like characterizations of like Lonnie and what kind of story they were going to tell, which, funny enough, if we're tying it back, all the way to episode 1, I'm going to call out some people on our chat that came in here before on episode 1. That racial profiling never made relevancy again in season 1.
You know what?
A waste of time. A waste of time
for the first episode, because it was just a cliche of a character. You have a black guy who's happened to be the best player in the football team, so black people sports cliche. But no, it's not just your regular black guy. He's a smart black guy. He's different from the rest of them. And again, however, even though he's different, he still faced racial discrimination from police. It was really the most cliche stuff you could put together. And I'm willing to bet the people who wrote this, like the melanin, to speak about it.
No, the showrunner Jeff Trammell is black.
Let me at least say
he lost that card.
Let me at least say, because there was that brief pause where it's like people in our comment section or in our chat was saying, "Oh, it's probably going to be relevant later on in the series. Just you can't criticize it now." Where is it? Waste of time. Again, one minor detail, but I'm petty as hell. I like calling that stuff out when I see it again 10 episodes later. The racial profiling scene, waste of time. There was no point to it. It added nothing to the story, to Lonnie's character, nothing. But the rest of the story was great. I liked Lonnie. I liked Peter. Nico was getting on my nerves.
No, she grew on you.
No. When she stopped being herself at the end, then I was like, okay, thank you. Because I know
her character
she grew, but I had to grow to like her because she was annoying as hell in the beginning. I know Toasty didn't like her either. I don't even gotta ask Toasty. I don't gotta ask.
I think that's the point, though.
No,
if you
but that's
didn't
the
like
thing.
her in the beginning, she's definitely more likable. We missed last week, but after last week's conversation with Harry, that is when I really grew to care for her and care and invest where her story goes.
I didn't think she was that bad. I just view her as a character that's extremely introvert, and she happened to find friendship and somebody that was equal or somehow similar to her, and she started to feel like left out because that person started to grow. So I thought it was a great storytelling. If anything, I didn't like the Tombstone, because I felt like his character development was too quick and not well explored compared to the other characters. He should have had more.
Well, I mean,
time in the screen.
His story's not done.
No, it's not done. But in season 1, when we go from, because you guys didn't do anything last week, or because we did, Brave New World.
Priorities.
I don't like the fact that he went from being, I don't want to say a good kid, but there, let's just call it that. He went from being a good kid to practically being an all-time criminal gang leader. But we don't really see that change. It just kind of just happened, you know? One day he's at school doing homework, the other day he's in the gang. There seems to be no repercussion for him being in the gang. Nope. Like, let's think about it this way. This is a kid that was a star football player for the school, NFL prospect, good enough that a gang leader in his neighborhood knew about him. Yet somehow he got kicked out of the football team. He's not going to school. He's practically a dropout. Yet no one brings it up to his parents. That's
I
something
mean, his
that,
parents know he's going for his GED.
yeah, but that was something later. But we don't get to see the confrontation. We don't get to see, like, why didn't the parent question the fact that this guy was practically the family way or ticket out of a more impoverished life into a more successful life?
Actually, yeah, that
Like,
was a little weird.
Yeah, think about it. This is a guy
Um,
who's smart enough to be in advanced school.
No, no, no.
No, think
Their
about it.
school's not at their school is not the advanced school. The
It's
advanced
not, but
school
let
got
Toasty
shut
cook
down.
for a
their
second
class.
because
Think about their class. He's
yeah.
in an
I don't think this
advanced
is
class.
cooking. I don't think this is
No,
cooking.
No.
He's in an advanced
It's picking
classroom.
apart.
Yeah, he's in an advanced classroom, a classroom that is full of people that it's clear they're supposed to be of a higher intelligence. So we have to assume he's a straight A student. And he
Wait,
did
Peter's in
mention-
that class.
Yeah, but Peter's a genius.
No. What I'm saying is Peter's in the upper level class. Lonnie is older than Peter.
Yeah, but even then, that was another part that was weird because his friend, Lonnie's girlfriend, she's also in that class and she's implied to be smart also. So there's that thing. And they also had another student with them during at the end of, like, I think the 9th episode when they presented the project. She was also smart. So everyone in that class so far have shown characteristic to be somewhat intelligent. And I do remember him when we first met him, when he sat next to Peter, they were talking about science and Peter was surprised by how smart he was. So he must be at least intelligent enough where he's not just, a jockhead. Like, he knows his stuff. However,
Wait, so what's the problem? What are we getting at here?
my problem is that you have a kid that is supposedly a straight A student, that is a star of the football team, NFL prospect, but we don't get to see the line between him being this to him being a gang leader. There seems to be like a part of the story missing, like the parents confronting him. The story.
I'm pretty sure that is to come because again, I hands down believe this whole production, the fact that season 2 and 3 were greenlit so quick. I'm pretty sure season 2 is going to come a lot sooner than one would expect because this story is not done. We haven't seen those repercussions yet.
But you just said that he told his friend he was doing his GED
because he dropped out, like you said. He dropped out.
No, but that's the thing.
Toasty's saying there should have been a confrontation.
Yes,
about
like how come there's no conversation?
How do you go from like
that?
one of the top of your class and being on the football team to now you're dropping out and you're getting your GED?
I understand. He made the choice. He chose to drop out. He chose
no. He lives in a black household. You know damn well as a black child he cannot just drop out.
It's okay to pick this apart.
I think we're just nitpicking here.
No, it's not. It's something that matters.
I don't think this takes away from.
He's not saying it takes away.
Do you want to know my rating for the show first before we continue?
I mean, you can, sure.
No, actually, no. Save it for the end. End. We have to guess. But
I just feel we're really just nitpicking because yes, they didn't show this stuff. But never once them not showing it did it hinder the rest of the story of what we were given with Lonnie.
No,
there's room to whatchamacallit. There's room. There's ambiguity to his story. Like you're saying, yes, we really just got a lot of phone calls from the mom and whatnot, and we've seen him lie. But yeah, no, we haven't had that confrontation because I think we're boiling. I think the story is still cooking. This big blow up is going to happen. It just hasn't happened here. They're not rushing to that point, which is why by the end of this series or season 1, we don't have Lonnie, he's really still teetering that Lonnie tombstone line. He's not 100% tombstone yet.
No, he might not be
we're
100%.
we're building to that boiling point, is what
No,
I'm saying.
he might not be 100%, but after the big event at the end of the season, it's clear that he has become the leader among the group of people, especially since what happened with the leader. My thing is that,
Correct.
again, it did not take away or hinder what was given to us in the show overall, but I wish it was still given to us because it would have added more to what we receive.
It's a
I
piece
feel like,
missing.
yes,
And
for me, I feel like he's one of the main characters of the shows. And
he
I feel
is
like his story should have had a little bit more detail. And again, we can hope they go over more details with that, but I do wish that at least given one episode where they explore everything that happened from him being, again, the smart guy that tutors other kids, including his brother, being the star football player, being known around his neighborhood as that kid, to him now being a local gang leader. Like, to me, I wish that was more explored. I feel like it's a piece. We spent too much time with Harry and Harry, like Peter's friend, and I wish they took away a little bit of their part and give him to Lonnie. I'm not mad that I don't hate what they did to him. I just wish they give him more. If that makes sense.
it makes sense. I think
It
you
does.
Do you
need
agree
to,
with me?
I think you need to take a step
No,
back.
he
though,
doesn't.
'cause
That's a soft
I-
no. That's a soft no.
I would say if you take a step back and just look at it is an ensemble, so we're not going to get, you know, there. We have to share the time between Nico and Harry and Lonnie. I think the story, as far as season one goes, what they gave us was Lonnie was serviceable to this mirror image of Peter and what's going on. For example, we have really only one Peter parallel as far as Peter and May, her worrying about him. I think that is building up for another kind of big boiling moment of,
Yeah, I didn't care for May,
you're,
but yeah.
that no, but I'm saying like, Lonnie, I think we were going to have that. I think it was purposefully left out to give more space for it in season two.
But you see,
It-
if they do
but
that, I do hope they give him proper time. In my personal opinion, he deserves an entire episode about him so we can see the not even evolution, the de-evolution,
The degradation.
the degradation, the more degradation of Lonnie. That feel like that's something I feel was missing from this season. That is all.
okay, fair.
So you agree?
Yeah.
That's all.
I mean,
Yes or no?
I see what they're doing. Again, it was very big and telling when he threw away the jacket at the very end, and clearly
Yes.
he's got the white.
It was him
coming on.
shedding. It was him shedding
Mhm.
his old life apart to become a gang leader. Yes.
What if it's just
Correct.
like ashy fingers or something?
Oh my
It's
god!
not.
It could be.
It's not. Definitely though. I mean, on the topic of Lonnie, I don't think that's. I feel him and where he is at now. I don't think necessarily it's going to be this straight gang life of criminal activity. I think he is going to try to maybe find a new way, and then eventually, again with him and Peter teaming up at the very end against Scorpion, I feel there is going to be a part of Lonnie that, not necessarily trying to pursue the criminal side of gang life. Maybe he's going to try to take it in a different direction. It's very up in the air, but I feel per his character, he's not a villain. He hasn't crossed the line to where he is a straight up villain. He's doing bad stuff, but now that he's in the leadership position, I think it's still very much in the air what he actually does with the 1/10th gang.
You want to
I don't
know?
think it's. I think it's straight as far as, oh yeah, they're gonna be smuggling drugs and running guns
Okay.
across the city.
Here's what my prediction is for the next episode that he actually shows up in. The episode is going to start with him leading the gang against the Latina group that attacked them this episode. He's going to have some kind of problem. Peter is going to come fight against him. He's not going to be able to connect with him. And Peter's going to try to get the XGF to get to him. At that point, once the XGF meets him, two things are going to happen. Either he's going to break down and almost regret his decision and go to prison, or at that point, he's going to truly show that he has changed and he's going to attack her and he's going to be sent to jail and vow revenge on Spider-Man. That's the plot for season 2.
You're a
will be
fraud,
How do I know?
Spider-Man!
How do I know that? Because my uncle works for Disney and he gave me the clip. So
I
this
mean-
might get taken down.
I mean, yeah, they're definitely building up the fallout between not only Peter and Lonnie, but Spider-Man and Lonnie for sure.
Yeah.
If she Pearl called him Peter, so she's starting to have a romantic interest in
She's
him.
like 4 years old older than him. Like,
she is.
Yeah, it's
like
weird.
it's like a
It's-
senior girl dating a freshman guy. Like, come on.
I can't say I haven't seen it.
It's kind of
But
weird.
everybody gave it a look. And plus, she needs to stay on her lane.
It's the raising of an eyebrow.
Yes.
I mean, if it happens, it happens.
Or-
I definitely
If it happens, it happens.
Or she could just be his friend, She doesn't have to have any romantic thing.
Yeah, maybe she doesn't see him as
I-
maybe she doesn't see him as a child anymore, like a
Yeah.
baby. That was where
Sure.
the PD was coming from the babysitting. Now it's like, hey, you're like an equal. You're a good friend. We're friends. We're friends.
Yeah. She was his babysitter.
One or two things are gonna happen. Lonnie's gonna misconstrue them hanging out and get jealous, or he'll be rightfully jealous because there is a romantic thing.
But I don't think Lonnie will do that just because he already knows they had a relationship before she met him.
Not a
only thing that
romantic one though.
Not romantic, but the only thing that could happen is a hug. But like if it's a hug, it'll be still weird.
And not only
why would
that,
yeah.
there was a scene from, I think it was last week, where Lonnie came over to see Pearl, and Peter was there, and I thought it was gonna be one of those stereotypical scenes where he's like, "What is he doing here? Why
you hang out with your friend? That's weird."
Parker. I thought it was gonna blow up there, but it didn't. He was like there was not even a suggestion in his mind that even crossed like, oh my God, are they together?
And that's why I am saying there will be a moment where he does think that, because
I
that's
don't know
going to add
why.
to add to him boiling over. It's gonna put him over the top.
I mean,
everybody has each character kind of has this building rising thing going on, and as we talk more about this finale and how it ends, you can kind of see where these points are gonna go.
But you see, the only way he would do that is if Peter is revealed to be Spider-Man by him, or if he discovered Peter is Spider-Man, because at this stage he doesn't view Peter as an equal. He probably viewed Peter as a kid. I'm sure you all remember when you were, oh my bad, I'm sure you guys remember all when we were seniors, freshmen look like kids, so he probably thinks that's the only way that would happen. But even then, I feel it'd be weird for him. Like, I don't see a situation where he misunderstands their relationship, unless it's lazy writing.
Only time will tell. There are seeds here to make Lonnie's story be more tragic, and
these seeds need to rot. They're not gonna grow.
If it is anything can add to it. Anything can add to it at this point. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. But yes, I mean, he finally got the tombstone gas.
That was kind of dumb. I thought it was going to be something more, I don't know, extravagant, not just a punctured gas canister in a truck he inhaled.
I don't know what more you want.
That's cliche, like superhero stuff, though.
But
it's good, like it's typical.
But at least, like I'm gonna use Joker as an example. There's like a chemical vat that he fell into, and it embroidered all his skin.
That's what happened to him in the '90s series,
right? So, but in here, I don't know. It felt kind of like underwhelming. Lonnie, how do you think you got your powers? Yeah, I was looking for like a gravity gun in the back of a truck, and this random gas like the size of your palm, this little gas canister the size of your palm got like a pinhole puncture in it, and I just started inhaling it, I don't know.
You see,
it's kind of underwhelming a little bit.
I was fine with it.
You're fine with anything. You're fine with anything.
No, I just thought that whole sequence.
You have yet to say anything negative about the series.
I thought that whole sequence had a lot of moving parts and moving elements, and I did not see this being the scene where Lonnie gets his powers.
Okay,
I was really hoping it wasn't.
Okay, let me defend it. At the end of the day, it is just a typical superhero. That's what it is. It's by accident. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I didn't blank. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. The only question I had is, what is the purpose of that gas canister? Could anybody else could have gotten power from that? Like, what was the
I would
reason?
assume yes. I would assume
Yeah, what was
yes.
the reason Doc Ock built it? Like, those were questions, but it didn't really matter in the moment. We all knew that every superhero always get power a stupid way. Like, come on, Spider-Man gets his power by a spider bite. That
Yeah,
is
with
also
a
dumb.
lot of emphasis on the spider. That's
Yeah,
cool.
but it's just by accident. And that's the same spider that crawled away into somebody else's bag, who technically could have bit them also to become the next Spider-Man, and so on and so forth. Because they don't know what a spider is. Like,
They
again, it's
don't.
just,
That's still a
yeah,
loose thread.
yeah. To me, like, it's one of those things where don't overthink it. It's just a gas, chemical exploded. Somehow it matched up with his DNA perfectly, and he got the power.
Dr.
We'll move
Jace
on.
wanted them to be in a cemetery and Tombstone actually burying a dude in a casket.
And then
And
the tombstone
then
falls over
And
him.
well, no, a missile comes and sets off a chain reaction.
and you see what you just did right now? You actually used your head and thought of something creative
No.
and
No,
fun.
I don't want that.
But
I don't
you
want
just
that. I
thought
don't
of
want
something
that.
more creative and interesting than, yeah, he goes into the back of a truck and then he's like, trying to find something, and then he sniffs like the little canister of gas on the floor. He could have just jumped out of the car as soon as he started smelling that, but no, he just stayed in there. No, that would have
Okay.
been more interesting.
I have a better one from you. Somehow the Latino gang discovered that Doc Ock had buried a bunch of chemical in a cemetery. They forced Lonnie to dig it up. The tombstone falls on his head and he passes out, and he rises up saying, "Y'all tried to kill me with a tombstone. Now I will be your tombstone." Man,
Oh,
boom.
yeah,
Explosion right there.
There we go.
That's beautiful writing.
See?
Right there.
That's
I know
what I
know you're
want.
laughing.
That's
I know
what
very
I
much.
want.
I know that was a comment.
No,
your eyes will be blown up. You'll be like, "Oh my
Hoop
God,
is holding
shut
it back because he's like, man, I really should have thought of that one first.
Well, I hope you understand in the comics, he was just born albino, first of all, in the comics. He was
yeah,
just
that's
born.
not his powers though. His powers not
Yeah.
being albino.
I know,
That
but
I'm aware of.
I'm not aware of his power origin, but I'm just saying it's not that deep. And again, I think because this whole first episode really kind of is this fight scene. This takes up majority of the episode. So I just thought it added an extra layer. It does beg the question, is Doc Ock just literally making weapons, anything that can turn people into powered individuals, super soldiers? So I like that there's layers to this fight versus just, they could have just done a 1v1 with Scorpion and Spider-Man again. But no, it was another gang, a rumble in the streets.
Yes, a gang war in the middle of the street.
With no
The-
guns. No guns.
Well, again,
No guns.
they said this was stupid, but like, in the middle of the day, trying to, run cops off the road.
in the middle of the day,
New York
but-
City.
in
you
New
know?
York City, when Big Don said 1/10 gang, let's take them out. I'm like, is
Okay,
this the
to
turf
be
war?
fair-
Where are your guns?
Okay,
Where
to
are
be
your
fair,
guns?
My first question was, what about the New York traffic? But then in real life, apparently in New York recently, they passed a law where you get taxed if you drive your car in certain places. So that has empty up the street. So maybe they're talking about that. That's why they were able to knock the car.
Well, they're also not in like downtown, midtown.
Are
they're
they like in
Queens.
Queens?
Yeah, they
right?
should be
Doesn't-
in Queens.
But that
if I'm
doesn't
not
matter.
mistaken.
Like, New York is full. But again, my logic with it is people take the subway in that universe.
It's true.
The
I mean,
headcanon.
I suspension of disbelief. I don't think about the logicities of the New York
No,
traffic.
no. We have to break everything down. Everything.
I am fine with this. I think them trying to run them off the road. Again, a layer to this because they're like, we've seen what this stuff can do. Let's get it for ourselves. And then of course it just goes awry. And then of course you get Peter showing up in the red and blue.
Yeah.
Which I honestly didn't know if we were gonna get the red and blue.
I mean, you
do
should have
you
known
do you
that
like
one
this?
Harry.
Do you like
but
this? Like
It's
the outfit?
fine.
It's okay.
fine.
Like, it's a typical Spider-Man outfit.
right.
I think that's my thing. It's a typical Spider-Man outfit.
I mean,
I
it
kind-
resemble like the first Spider-Man outfit. Like,
it's
no,
it's literally that. That's what I mean. Like it's just a typical Spider-Man outfit compared to like adding your own flair to it. You know what I mean?
Uh,
Like adding your
maybe-
own spin.
Maybe that'll be season 2.
But then again, this is
later
the
season.
60s Spider-Man.
Well,
Okay.
it's
60s
60s
outfit.
inspired. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine if we're talking about like those added black marks of the Civil War suit. I'm okay without those.
I mean, I don't need
know.
those. No,
No.
I don't need the MCUification of
I
any
think
of the
he meant
outfits.
just a unique outfit. Like, for example, if you watch the first 2000 Spider-Man, he has his outfit. The Amazing Spider-Man has his outfit. Like,
Wait, hold. Which shows are we talking about?
no, we're
now?
talking about movies. He was talking about movies. Like
Oh,
all of the
I
different.
wasn't talking about movies.
Oh, I thought you were talking about movies. 'Cause I was thinking that
I meant
every...
in general, like
Oh, yeah.
any Spider-Man outfit, they
Okay,
have like some
but-
unique twist to it.
No, that's to say every Spider-Man outfit. When you look at their uniform or their outfit, you can almost pinpoint which era or which character played or voiced that Spider-Man. This one, he just looked generic, something that he doesn't stand out. And maybe he's gonna get something new later on.
Which I think is maybe, now thinking about it out loud, is probably the point. Because it is 60s inspired, so it should be the typical stereotype Spider-Man outfit.
No, it could be inspired, but they could also do a new design with it. Like, for example, the blue and white armor, like this one right here. I like this one. I thought that one was nice. It was brand new. It was a little bit different. I'm ready for them to add. Huh?
It's Norman.
It's Norman.
Peter.
I know, but I'm ready for all these outfits to be added into the Spider-Man game. Stuff like that. Those are cool. But I mean, his outfit, this one, it's through the Spider-Man Tobey Maguire outfit.
I mean, it's just a classic. It's just the classic.
No, but you see, like, it's still Tobey Maguire. Like, when we think of Into the Spider-Verse, he has his outfit. When we think about Amazing Spider-Man, he has his outfit. When we think about Tobey Maguire, they have their outfit. Like, I feel like they could have done something different. Could have added a little change to it, but I don't care. That's the thing. It was just like, oh, okay, it's Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm fine with it just being the red and blue. If anything, I thought this was giving, especially actually the final scene, I thought this was supposed to be giving more of Tom Holland at the end of No Way Home, where he has the classic suit.
That's
that too.
That's what I thought they were really trying to elicit. Which again, if they a charm to the show, it would be to see Peter in more suits. So in season 2, if he's doing variations of the classic, I think that would be cool. But I guess also too, it's kind of they flipped it on its head, because the MCU's usually all their shows are about getting to the costume, the final costume, or the upgraded suit, and really we just went back to basics with this one. So,
which is nice. I mean,
is always nice.
Yeah, the basic Spider-Man is always the best uniform. I'm sure, like, whenever you play a game, you always go with the most normal Spider-Man outfit. That's usually the best one.
Yeah,
right.
It's nostalgia.
I don't need that Dragonfly outfit.
Oh no,
There's
was
no
definitely
such
the worst.
Dragonfly. You're just thinking of that Drake Bell movie.
It is a Dragonfly.
Yeah, the one right here.
The one that's in his background.
Yeah, the purple
that's not
one.
no, that's a Hornet.
Mm-hmm.
Comic book fans already came for us about it. It's a Hornet.
It's a Dragonfly. Comic book fans.
Based
It
off
literally has
of
a stinger.
If you disagree, just keep swimming the comment section. That'll help.
Based off of Drake Bell's performance in Superhero Movie,
which is a good movie.
Did we appreciate the Lonnie and Peter team up, or was this super cheesy? This is where I saw put more money into the animation. That little sequence where they
combo wombo. I mean,
it was wombo combo. My belief was suspended in this fight because Lonnie was dodging attacks from Scorpion at the same
had his power.
rate. What's his power? Heightened senses? I thought it was just heightened strength and durability.
I don't know if you've been paying attention. He's been using his football skills a lot in these fights.
So you're telling me his football skills are on the same level as Spider-Man's spider sense to dodge
You hear
attacks?
that, NFL players? Time for y'all to go into the street and become the next Batman.
I have yet to hear you criticize anything about this show, so I don't know if I can take you seriously so far.
This finale was really good. I
agree. Listen. I agree. This finale was really good. I like this finale. That bar is set. However, there were parts where I'm like, huh? how Lonnie
Okay.
dodging attacks from Spider. Again, maybe I'm missing something from his kit. Maybe he does have heightened agility when he inhales random gas from a gas canister.
I mean, I
don't think it. I don't think it has to be
power.
that deep. I don't think
No.
it. I think since the first gang fight, you see Lonnie use football moves.
Yeah, against
in those-
normal people, not the
Right.
Scorpion.
Okay, we don't. You don't.
Okay,
But you
look.
don't know. See, you gotta take a
Grandmaster.
step back because you don't actually know like how fast and whatnot his tail is
Okay.
moving.
What do you
don't-
mean?
You don't know.
I'm assuming it's going very fast because he could kill anyone else there easily.
Right, but I don't think it's absurd to think that Lonnie.
But
yes,
football
can dodge.
skills.
I
That's
don't
where
think- I-
that's where you
I
can
don't
dodge
think
this.
I don't think it's absurd to think that Lonnie couldn't dodge one of his moves.
It wasn't
I don't-
one. It was not one.
It was
He
multiple.
It was
I don't think it's-
multiple. It was a barrage. Him whipping
Okay.
his tail around
I
and
don't think it's
Spider-Man
absurd.
using his spider sense agility to backflip
Jace,
and cartwheel
Dr.
through
Jace.
everything.
He-
Lonnie
I'm
is
using
on
spider
pace.
sense.
Lonnie
Spider sense
is
has not been
on.
established yet.
Lonnie is on
Sti-
pace,
Spider sense has not been
dodging
established
his
yet.
attacks.
Look,
That part is
it's
kind of
simple.
dumb.
No, look, it makes sense. First of all, he had just gained his power. We have to assume the power gave him some kind of heightened ability, agility. He became a meta-human. Second, he was a star football player. Those skills are above regular human. So that's what helped him. Or we can go with the typical BS where he uses his football skill, but because he has heightened ability because of the meta power he just acquired, it just made him more agile. That's the easy explanation. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. I didn't think much of it. I thought it was pretty cheesy.
It was really
But,
cheesy and silly.
However,
I mean,
I
they
didn't
went
think
for
about it.
the
I thought it was an okay
cheese.
scene. What?
When it cut to them, it was a really cool shot where it's like a blue background
Yeah.
and they're moving together, and you could tell they put more money in this sequence right here.
Yeah.
It adds to the cheesiness of it, you know.
Are you criticizing it?
No, cheese can be
No,
good.
no,
Cheese can be
he has
fun.
yet to say anything negative about the series.
I don't. Is it so bad that I don't have anything negative to say?
It's okay,
It was
but
a
when
really
someone
great
else,
finale.
it was a great finale, but you can still point out little things and say, yeah, you know what? They probably could have done a
Actually,
little bit better here.
I
But I
watched
still loved it.
I watched it twice. These things that
You
Oh
watched
my
it. You see
God.
what I mean? Yeah, it's done.
These-
It's done.
How?
Why do you
How
think
did you watch
Hold
it
up. Why do you think I
twice?
watched these things twice? Why do you think I watched these things twice?
to solidify your fandom in it.
No, to see
Yes.
if it does
Masochism?
bother me, or to see if I did really enjoy it.
Did you
And
rewatch
and,
Eternals?
and you ended up.
That's why.
Did you watch
Wait, did you-
Eternals a second time?
I did watch Eternals a second time.
When?
But we're not talking.
No,
I watched
you
it the
didn't.
next
No,
day.
you
When?
didn't.
I
The next
watched
day?
it the next day.
What was your favorite scene from the movie?
I don't know, but
He's
No,
lying.
we'll
talk about that
Yes,
later.
Why you gotta lie
we can
on
talk
this?
about it later. I'm not lying. I don't need to prove it. I watched it. You can believe it or not. The point is, I
what
watched
did
these
you
things
love about
twice. What
did you love about it?
What
was your
we're here to
favorite
talk about
scene?
Spider-Man. We could talk about
But-
Eternals later.
No, but both of them are superhero, meta-human type ability.
we can talk
We
about
can make a comparison in
Eternal.
the lore.
I'm not comparing this to Eternals. They're
Because you
vaguely
can't.
different. They're vaguely
I'm
different.
ashamed.
The point is that these things that you are bringing up did not bother me. There's one thing that bothered me, but it's gonna come up later. I will point it out because I did say that's kind of, I don't want to say poor storytelling, but it's like I needed something better. But we'll get there.
Okay.
We'll
see.
we'll come back to it. Did we like the beams falling on Lonnie and Peter goes into, I'd like to say, Norman mode, where it's Norman speaking in his head, talking about great power, great respect, and he starts pummeling Scorpion.
I mean, it was all right. I mean, yeah, it's just that. I mean, there's nothing else to say. We all knew that Peter was not gonna kill him, so there was no tension in that to me. Just because the show, like, this Peter doesn't look like he's built to actually kill anybody. Like, that's all it is.
Well, that's an interesting point, though.
However, it does give a foreshadowing of when he get the Venom thing attached to him, because what happened later on, and he does become Venom Spider-Man. Maybe we're actually gonna see him break a couple people's back and send them to the hospital.
Well,
That would be good.
I'm curious as to whether how much more of a role Norman will play in the future, given how this episode ends, because they still have a relationship. It's not like
Yeah.
he cut him off. And then also there's another thing that I think will probably bother Peter some once he finds out, because I don't think he's in the know, but we'll come back to that later. That was the other big reveal at the end of this episode, or the second episode.
Second episode.
There's 2 episodes.
I'm sorry. I'm a little
Episode
bit
9
confused.
and episode 10.
Oh, okay. Talking about those 2 episodes. Okay, I thought
Yeah,
you were
I'm-
referencing something from the second episode,
Yeah. But
like
we'll
episode
get there.
2. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But
And were they 2 episodes? I felt like there were 4 or 5.
This week?
no, the finale was 9 and 10.
Really?
Are you okay?
Look,
Did you
I
not
was
watch?
being-
10?
I didn't watch it last week, so that's probably why. Because I meant to
Oh.
watch a bunch of them
okay.
together,
Oh, okay.
and it was a non-stop thing. Every episode was like, God damn it, I have another one. But yeah, okay.
No, Dr. Chase, no criticisms about the Norman in his head.
No, I liked it. When I like a scene, I like the scene. When I don't like it, I don't like it.
We
You're
don't
gonna hear
hate the
it.
show. We just have criticism.
I don't
which
think you
is
hate
nice.
the show. I don't think you hate the show.
I think you do.
I think sometimes y'all like to find things.
No, it's like I'm saying I like
do you
the
like
show.
Eternals?
We're not here to talk about Eternals. We
I'm-
can talk about it after. I
I'm-
want to talk about this show.
I'm saying when there are things that I don't like, and I'm saying that part doesn't make sense, and then you come in and say, "Wait, it does make sense. It does make sense, though. You're wrong."
well, I mean, the football thing they've been.
The football thing is dumb. The football thing is dumb.
No,
but it's a
they've been
small.
showing it all season
It's
long.
right. Him attacking people with his football skills. I forgot. But the point is, with this particular scene with Norman being in his head, I like that. At the same time, where Toasty's going, there's no real tension because you knew that he wasn't gonna kill him. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Spider-Man. He's not gonna kill a villain. Cold blood on the, and don't pretend like you thought, oh, I don't know what he's gonna do. Is he
No,
gonna
and to be
actually
fair,
do?
at that point,
I
we
like-
knew that,
I like that he got to that stage for his character.
but there was no tension.
No. Not that there was no tension in him killing him. Obviously, he wasn't going to kill him, so there was no tension in that. But there was tension in that you don't really see a lot of versions of Peter Parker or Spider-Man that get to that stage where they're willing to do that without the symbiote suit.
Okay, I have to say, yeah,
With-
we see that with every Spider-Man.
Without the symbiote suit, especially a freshly started Spider-Man, he was ready to kill him. He was ready.
Okay.
He wasn't going to, but for him mentally to get there, I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. I've never
Okay.
seen Spider-Man do that before.
But you see, my issue with that is if you want to criticize that scene is why did Peter think he would be dead instead of trying to lift up the beam, especially when the guy took a scorpion hit to the stomach and broke it?
Oh, but like the beams that fell on him, like that was like an excessive amount of force.
No.
I would have thought he probably would have died too from that.
You see,
Yeah,
but,
also
like,
it's
that's
just
the thing.
Peter doesn't know the extent of Lonnie's new abilities.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. I mean, I just thought it was okay scene. It was nothing to be crazy about. It was fun that Peter went crazy, psycho mode. Hopefully, the symbiote suit, when he gets it later, I really want to see him go crazy because symbiote Peter is always the best Peter. He doesn't hold back. And yeah, that's it.
Well, I do think though the follow-up conversation with Norman, how Peter tells him that that hey, I was thinking all about the great power, great respect. And
You mean like the Green Goblin mask in Spider-Man 2002?
kind of, yeah, very similar. But
Respect.
I think though, in Norman saying, Peter, you came back. You got lost in it, but you found your way back. Part of me feels
Goddamn
that
irony.
well, correct. One, I think that works on Norman's level. If we do see the greater fall of Norman, but I also think when he says that to Peter, I would like to think in the future, without symbiote suit, we may see him go all the way. Because if the idea again is this is a different multiverse or whatever, and they're doing things differently, I think it's a way more interesting show if Peter does actually go there and what it would be to get him to find his way back. Because obviously the symbiote suit, that will probably get him there. But as we already said, we've seen this story. We are aware of it. We expect it. If the show wants to be a little more daring, they can actually take Peter there and see what happens with it.
Yeah.
I'd be
That
curious
doesn't
to see that story.
that doesn't seem too friendly for your
It
neighborhood.
does not. It does not seem too friendly. You're right.
And the reason why I think they could probably go there, like maybe, is there's blood in this series. I wasn't expecting that. Like them showing piercings and people getting stabbed.
It's just catch up. Don't worry.
No, oh no. I'm like, wow, you're actually showing it. You know, it being like a cartoon series on Disney Plus. I thought they were gonna shy away from that.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, nothing excessive, but it's like, oh, okay, that's red. That's real blood coming out. You show someone get punctured. They did more than I thought they were gonna do with that.
I mean, last week, because we missed it, when he got stabbed by the scorpion,
They
I
showed
was
it.
like, God damn, that was intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, he could definitely have died from that.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually liked, just tying it back to the Scorpion bit, I actually like that he struggled throughout this whole arc against Scorpion. It just kind of gives more weight to the villains to expect, because he's still fresh as Spider-Man. He doesn't know like all his agility moves, and you know, he's not seasoned yet. So someone like Scorpion is gonna beat his ass like really, really hard, a grown-ass man. And then I imagine when the Sinister Six start coming in and you got like multiple villains coming for him, that I don't know, that's probably gonna be like the beatdown in Spider-Man 2018 on top of the rap, where they're like, come on, fight back, fight back.
Oh God, that was brutal.
Okay, I have a better thing that nobody mentioned. The PTSD that he had when he saw a Scorpion.
Oh,
I love that.
That
I
was
actually
good.
He started
like that.
shaking. He was like, oh shit, this man is gonna kill me again, because he saw him walking, pushing everyone off, like he was targeting Peter. That was nice.
Oy, araña.
Also, I like too when they zoomed in on his face and his mask disappeared, and you got to see Peter's expression under the mask.
Fear.
You got to see the bitch in his blood.
That was very comic book. That I felt that was like, you know, comic books will be a frame where it
they
might
take
be half
the mask off
No,
just
I
to
don't read
see.
comic book.
Exactly.
I mean, they did it in the 90s series too a couple times.
Where you just kind of zoom in on his face and through the mask.
Yeah, so you can see their expression. Yeah.
Yeah, they have. I think it's just a nice touch.
It's a nice touch, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I forgot about the PTSD. We almost forgot this too. I mean, again, the finale more than anything. Again, I think they're playing with us with Norman, but that Norman Doc Ock confrontation.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Norman's a little sassy.
He's a petty ass man.
He had no reason to go there except to rub it in his face. There was nothing to be gained except ego, and I loved it. I loved it.
Yes.
He's petty. He told Doc Ock he could have worked for me, but I'm gonna take all your shit. Pettiness. Yeah, I respect that.
He went up to him and basically said, "You a bitch," in jail.
He said, Listen, I was just ready for them to come and grab you, but when he suggested we send an Iron Man, cherry on top.
Stark?
Honestly, I can't wait for more of their interaction. They make a good back and forth. It's hilarious.
They do. And Doc Ock, he kept his cool at first, which I was like, okay, holding it down. And then I forget what the trigger was.
It was the thing, his technology, because he told Doc Ock he's gonna take all of his stack. He doesn't have to buy it out or ask him for it. He stole everything, which is what led to the next scene with them trying to steal the truck.
Well, that's good too that you mentioned that, kind of, because Ock was like, you just reap the benefits of everybody else's hard work and whatnot, which is kind of high key what he is doing.
Yeah, with the interns. That's all he did with the interns.
Well, even with Peter too. I actually I need to get back into writing quotes when he said, "Peter, I wish I had 1,000 Spider-Mans." I was like, oh.
The writing was on the wall at that point.
Yeah.
Red flag. You cannot say that. No, that could come from anybody but Norman Osborn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, I
Because
mean, look what happened.
By the end of this episode, he's like, "How are we on our projects? Good. Let's go full throttle. He's a little. He's riding on a high.
He's
he's like,
gliding on a high.
Oh my god.
yes.
Yes.
Oh, gliding.
Boo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I guess. I mean, the glider is the most we've seen of that character.
There was some tech that made it seem like Peter's technology was going to be repurposed for his like pumpkin bombs. I saw like a schematic thing, and I don't know, maybe I was drawing too much into
Oh
it.
no, was there stuff? There was only one thing where I really saw something, and I had to pause it to look at it. I didn't see schematics. If you saw it, I believe you.
Wait, what is it?
It was just something where like they were saying how they were gonna repurpose like everyone's like technology into like new weapons. Like they said Amadeus Cho did this, and they went down all the interns. Then they went to Peter, and they didn't outright say it, but like the way the blueprint looked like and the way they described it, it almost implied that it was like, this could be the pumpkin bomb that the Green Goblin eventually uses.
Well, Grandmaster,
maybe
it's
not.
time for you to watch it the third time and send us all those references.
Watch it
I mean, I
third
can look.
time.
I'll look. I can look back at those scenes. I sure can.
He said while watching it the fourth time.
I don't mind. I don't mind. Hey, if they got Easter eggs, I'll try to find them.
Okay,
But this high is a little too big for Norman. Because what in the second episode, the second part of the finale, I don't even really remember how it got there. But well, Norman's like, everybody come together. It's time we do Project Monolith.
I have an announcement to make.
It was after Peter got out of the hospital. He heard a scream, and he decided to run into the intern's room. And he saw that his project at the Oscorp worked properly. That's when he called him into his office, or like the new, I guess, science room. That's how it started, right? That's how it transitioned.
I honestly can't remember.
I really don't remember.
No, that's what I remember, because he was in the bed. He snuck out, crawled on the wall for some reason. Even though Norman told him he could walk out at any moment, he decided to crawl in a place full of goddamn cameras without a mask, again, in front of everybody who could look up and see him. He heard a scream from the intern room, ran there, and noticed that his project, whatever accelerator thing he was creating, worked
The
properly.
magnetic generator.
Yeah. And from what I remember, that's when Norman told them, hey, by the way, actually, no, that's later. No, that was earlier. That was earlier, because that was the first time he got beat up. Actually, yeah, I don't remember how I transitioned. Never mind.
I'm about to say,
that's
none of
what
that
I'm wrong.
happened in
Yeah, I'm
episode
trying to-
9 and 10.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
I
trying
think
to-
I think you're
Okay. Yeah, I watched all of them together. I'm trying to piece. Yeah, I don't know how to transition.
What they did that little bit in the science class, like Peter's high school that you were saying, where that girl
yeah, that's
came
right.
out of nowhere, and then they just jumped to Oscorp, and Norman's like, all right, folks, here it is.
Yeah,
This is what we're doing. Which I do, again, to the folks who still don't understand that this show takes place in the MCU. Here are some more MCU references. You know, the Chitauri, Thor. Norman's trying to make a portal, and he's like, think about it, astronauts. I was like, calm down with the whole
He's
Oz
creating
bit.
Stargate.
Literally, which cool, because I was like, they did kind of set this up. Peter had always been working on that generator since he started that internship.
Correct.
And the other ones too were working on their stuff. So I thought, the fact that this kind of folded back in nicely, I was like, oh, okay, good job, because I kind of wrote that off in the beginning as like nothing. I honestly think we see these interns again. So the more they showed up, and now they're actually here, and their stuff like helped Norman's master plan. I was like,
which is weird that he decided to get interns to help him with that. Like, why interns? You want to tell me that these 4 kids were smarter?
Well, I mean,
than...
initially it wasn't even to do all this. It was to, I mean, he mentioned it in the beginning of the season. Like, I did all this to weed out who potentially could be Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
once
okay, yeah, that's
once he
right.
did that, he's like, well, I already have them here. I might as well use them.
Okay, that's fair.
Feed my ambition.
Right. Exactly.
But again,
because they're
the
smart.
odds. But again, the odds of that portal opening exactly where it opened is almost impossible.
That was another thing.
Like,
That was another thing. The portal bit, right?
Okay, so this is my critique. The portal.
A rando. Oh, finally something.
Well, no, just kind of this whole portal bit.
It just
go
felt.
Go on.
I thought it was kind of forced that they just input some random coordinates. And I keep calling her Shuri because she looks.
Asha.
I keep calling her Shuri.
Wait,
That's
which
racist.
one?
The
Wakandan.
The Wakandan intern.
Oh, that's right.
She's like, I haven't tested those coordinates, and they're like, who cares? Punch it.
We haven't vetted those coordinates.
But
So
even
it
if
was
you
complete.
tested
It was completely random, out of nowhere.
No, it wasn't random. They just hadn't vetted it.
But it was random.
It was random.
Wait,
so
wait,
that's
hold on.
why,
Actually, no. It wasn't random because Norman said, Asha, I'm sure you recognize the
star
system.
system. Yeah,
The
you
star
talk about
system.
the star system.
Right. So that she had been working on that specific star system the whole time.
But the point is, the location chosen was chosen at random because it's implied that they don't know what's out there. So they just chose dot in the map, and it just happened to be on a planet where the symbiote lives. Like, the odds of you doing that is impossible.
like it's astronomically small, like within a decimal of a decimal of a decimal of a decimal. With how vast the universe is, I'm like,
yeah,
the random pinpoint you got on the star map happened to be the one that had the Venom symbiote.
Yeah,
yeah,
I would have preferred if they tested a couple planets first, which gave them overconfidence to try more.
They didn't even do a planet though. It wasn't even a planet.
Yeah, it was just a random like space, just random space.
No, but I thought the symbiote was standing on some kind of rock.
No, it was not a planet.
So the symbiote was just flying into space because I thought the symbiote. I thought the symbiote thing.
I thought it was on something.
No, it had to be on a platform.
I thought it was on something solid.
Yeah, it had to be something solid.
I'm telling you, all they said was star system.
Let me go back and double check.
Go back and check. Fact check.
There was nothing regards to a planet.
It could not be maybe it's not a planet. It could have been like an asteroid or a comet or something, because it would make no sense for the symbiote to be just flying into space with
this is why I'm saying this scene was go look back. I have it pulled up. It's just a floating rock.
That's what he was saying. That's what he was saying.
No, not a planet.
He wasn't saying a planet.
Wait, pause.
He said he was saying.
Chase, pause for a second. What is a planet apart from a floating rock flying to space?
No, I mean, go back and look at the scene. It's like there's meteorites floating.
Yes,
or asteroids.
But Tosi was saying on something solid. It like he wasn't just floating around aimlessly in space.
Standing anything. It comes out of a shadow. I'm literally looking at it now.
I'm looking to the scene right now.
I'm on the scene right. It's not standing on anything. It just grabs the inside of the portal and comes through.
No, but when you first open the portal, at the bottom, you do see there is some kind of structure.
Flooring.
There's flooring there. They're obviously in some kind of flooring.
A stretch.
What do you mean? That's what I saw too. I don't even got to pull up the episode to check that.
Yes.
It's not a stretch. It's a floor. What would you call that on the bottom?
It's a stretch.
You're doing the
Can you share the screen or something? Am I going crazy?
I'm watching it.
I wish there was a way. I wish there was a way.
All I'm saying is this was not. This was poorly done. This was poorly done.
You know, it is poorly done, but at the same time, the issue is you cannot see a floor. I'm literally paused in the scene right now where I see it's really a rock. So that's why I assume it's asteroid, because if it's an asteroid or a comet, it would be
an asteroid. But
again,
I can get behind an asteroid.
But an asteroid, depending on how big it is, could be considered to be a small size of a planet. There are asteroids that are pretty gigantic. Obviously,
it actually goes asteroids, then moon, then planet.
Yes, of course. But there's still asteroids that are still pretty big, to the point where it could be this, where it could contain. I'm guessing that's the logic. Somehow the Venom is traveling to that asteroid or comet throughout space. But then again, my point still stand. The odds of them choosing a random space on the entire universe shows an asteroid which just happened to be there, because unless they predicted the asteroid was going to be there, which is again possible, I guess.
I mean,
But
even then, like
like
choosing that asteroid,
it's not only that,
and
you
it
would have to not
has
only choose that asteroid,
venom.
you would have to monitor the asteroid constantly because it's constantly flying to space at 1,000,000 miles per hour. Choose that specific asteroid out of multiple different asteroid or comets in the area, and then that one just happened to be the Venom asteroid. Again, it was just, to me, they should have done a couple planets first, getting cocky with it, then accidentally found the Venom. That would have been a better build up. But they are standing on some kind of floor. That's all I want to say. It looked like dirt.
I mean, it's fine. I
Yes.
also had
Yes.
a more of an issue with Doctor Strange just kind of randomly showing up too, because I don't know if Doctor Strange has like an alert on his phone. Uh as far as, he just showed up because he said, Norman Osborn, you're about to play with, dimensions and cosmic powers. You don't know what you're doing. How did he know to be there?
Okay, it is a little bit of a cliche because we don't know if he's time travel again, or what he could have done immediately is open a portal underneath the Stargate stuff, and it would have fallen to, taken it away, and boom, be done.
But no, I'm just talking
he-
about, how did he know to be there?
There's
my magical power.
My headcanon, and again, to me, it's not good writing, because if I have to put in headcanon, that means the writers didn't actually, give me an explanation. My headcanon was he's a magical person, and magic is a broad spectrum. And so with that said, he just, like, as soon as Norman started tapping into opening up portals and magic, Doctor Strange's magical senses are like, holy shit, there's someone on the other side of the planet that's like doing something with portals. I got to go handle that business.
No, it wasn't only him, because he mentioned the Council of Wizard. So it was a group of them that's sorcerers, wizard, men in robes, who cares,
magicians,
like a Council of Gandalf. Like, it doesn't matter. A council of them, a group of them got together and probably have some kind of magical thing where they can sense everything that's going on. Or maybe they have some kind of sensor around Earth, because that portal does resemble the Tor portal and the Alien portals from the previous movies, or the movie they were referencing. And it's kind of a way to know if there's another alien invasion.
See, I'm gonna say this is poor.
No, it is.
Yeah,
it is. They should have done a better job with it. But I mean, and if Doctor Strange thought it was a more difficult issue or something big, why didn't he bring somebody else with him? Why didn't he show up earlier? There is multiple reason as to why.
Oh yeah, like if the Council of Sorcerers agreed that Norman Osborn was the issue, why was Doctor Strange the only one that showed up?
Yeah,
is it that hey, you can handle it? It's just Osborn. What's he gonna do? Right? I mean, is he gonna get on a glider? What's he gonna do to you?
He's technically the Sorcerer Supreme, so
I mean,
he's probably, I guess, sits atop the council, or is just their police dog, their lap dog.
No, it's typical Marvel clownery where there's a threat and they only send one person out there instead of sending a team.
They don't send the whole team.
They don't even need a team. Just send a couple people. Like, you saw how Spider-Man was struggling to take down that portal, and I'm like, my man, like, Doctor Strange should have easily gotten a spell and cut that thing in half. But he chose to create a wall in front of the
cables.
Yeah, he could have done anything apart from what he did.
He has to hold it back.
But you see, like, it was just, it's one of those things where they nerf his power to make Peter look good at the moment, to show, oh my God, Peter is strong. Peter is mad. Go Peter. When honestly, Doctor Strange should have just done, cut that thing in half, take it into a portal, cut the cable, explode the entire goddamn room if he wanted to, but it's not convenient enough.
Nobody's perfect. That's all. I mean, yeah, he's the Sorcerer Supreme. I'm sure he also could have made 20 copies of himself to assist
as well. Typical DBZ logic. They forget their power at important times.
Also, he has the time stone, which that they made that very clear that
Yeah.
he's using the time stone. So he easily probably could have.
Actually, no, because he doesn't know how to use the time stone. Because when he tried to use it,
He
he
does.
created a portal to the
Well-
first episode, and he didn't realize he was supposed to be there. So he doesn't seem to have full control of the
Well,
time
he
stone.
the
I think that
symbiote
was an
hit it.
accident. Yeah, the symbiote
Yeah.
tackled him because he originally went into that portal to be like, "I'm gonna send you somewhere else," and then when the symbiote hit him, that portal turned into like a time portal back somewhere
Yeah.
else, but back to
Mhm.
when the spider bit Peter. Which I mean, going back to that, do you like that this is one of those time loop origin
No.
stories?
Oh, you don't
No.
like it? Oh,
I
I
don't-
Don't
it.
like
It's-
time
I
loop.
I like
no,
it.
it's a time paradox. It doesn't make sense. The only reason it would make sense if they introduce a third party that influenced those events to begin with in the first place. Otherwise, it's the egg or chicken scenario. It just doesn't make sense.
But that is what it is. That's
No,
literally
but
what it is.
I think it's a shit logic. I don't like it. I prefer when it's some other utterly power just messing with, I guess, time. That would have been better, and that's something that I hope they do. I don't mind it. I just don't like it because I just feel like it's lazy writing. Oh yeah, time paradox.
Oh, I thought this was cool because in this scenario,
Mm.
it's really, again,
Would
kind
you
of
think it was
Norman's.
cool if Eternal did the same thing?
We're not here to talk about Eternals.
He doesn't remember.
Norman's-
It's fine.
Norman's scheming. You know, one, yeah, and he's it's his ambitions running wild.
Yeah.
Stole Peter's blood at a moment of Peter being at his lowest. Norman said, "You know what? If you're not up for it, Peter, I'm gonna find some other fool off the street and give him spider powers, and he'll be able to not hold back his punches."
Imagine
And
that's how we get Venom.
that could
probably
be.
is how we're gonna get Venom.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Right.
the way we get Venom, I mean, the symbiote, there's a piece of it left that Norman found.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's gonna start screwing around, saying like, yes, I will have 100 Spider-Men at my disposal.
Until
He's gonna-
Miguel
he's gonna-
shows up and mess him up.
He's gonna fuck around and find out.
Mm.
But actually, funny enough, that changes up the whole bit with that scene. You know, here you're thinking he's by Peter's bedside, because he cares about him. So he's like,
No.
I want every drop of blood put into a test tube right the fuck now.
Oh man.
He takes advantage.
Actually, what he's gonna do with it is most likely gonna. That's how he's gonna become the Green Goblin. He's not gonna get the spider power, but he's gonna get the enhanced strength. That's how I can see it happening.
Oh, he
Well, he's gonna-
injects himself. With
Yeah,
the...
he injects himself, becomes the Green Goblin. Something happened, and I'm assuming Harry might do the same thing, and Harry might become the Venom with that, especially with the symbiote. That's what I could see happening.
I mean, I'm curious about where Harry goes too. Everybody's
yeah, that
got
boy's too nice.
everybody's got an interesting path by the end of it all. But
What about the most important part? The friend who is, I'm assuming, Raven. What's her power?
oh, her name's not Raven. Oh wait, you're talking about Nico.
Yeah.
Raven,
Um,
yeah.
Well, hold up, real quick, back to the time loop because we didn't close the loop on that.
Yeah, it's never ending because it's a circle. There's no
Well,
ending or opening.
It's different. It's different, is what I like about
Marvel
it.
different.
It is different.
Oh
Peter,
my
it has
God.
never been portrayed like this before, where it was one thing was bound to happen. It's never been portrayed like this. It's different. So the fact that it was this scene where he falls back in, because in that first episode we thought he was from another dimension.
Yeah, but it was just from the future.
Right.
Right. So that's cool. I thought it added to, because one, we thought that premiere in that scene kind of was weak. So now it recontextualizes kind of that whole sequence of events. And
Sanji and Chad enjoyed it for those reasons too. The
Yes.
recontextualization of the first episode for how the
Mhm.
spider bit him.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
Grandmaster, all you did was read Sanji's word and stole it from him.
I didn't.
I feel like you did. Show us your computer. It's right there. Sanji, don't take that from him.
I mean, I didn't. Was the word recontextualize used?
He used the word recontextualize.
What are the odds of two
I
people
loved
Maybe
it.
using
Sanji
the
and I
same-
just both like the.
he said
Maybe we're.
he said
we
I
are
loved
here.
it because it recontextualized the first episode in a nice
Are you not?
way.
Are you Sanji? I think you might be.
I'm not Sanji, but
Take
maybe
off the
Sanji and
mask.
Sanji and I are on this frequency, and y'all are somewhere else, and that's okay. Sanji and I are built different, okay?
Sanji, don't take that
that's
from
all
him.
it is.
Stealing your word. That's copyright infringement.
We are built different. I promise you, I have not read it, but we are built different, and I appreciate Sanji either way. I like recontextualizing things. I think that makes you, because when you go back, if you watch this with somebody, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I know something you don't know."
No, because I'm
think
never watching it.
I would have
It's
rewatched
not
it
Turtles.
again.
Never watch it again. That's fine. I'll rewatch it with somebody and be like, I know something you don't know. I think that's, I mean, I don't want to just do that, but I think it is fun to go back and watch a show. But really, it was just the first episode where it was recontextualized.
Yeah.
But I think that's a cool experience in itself.
I mean, is that the word of the day? Do you guys just get that email with the word of the day? Because two people using the same word.
Wait, which
within
word?
The one we just used. You
Recontextualize?
Yes.
I mean,
Why are the odds
I
of
don't
two
have-
people using the same word within 5 minutes of each other? Y'all have to
I mean,
be.
that's the only way to
sub-
describe
the
it.
same odds of them picking a random quadrant with the Venom symbiote.
You know what?
And
makes
it
sense.
appears.
Because some things are destined to happen.
And there's your answer.
That's what Peter said is strange.
Okay.
Some things are destined to happen. He's destined to always become Spider-Man, except in some other universes where he's not. So
I see.
Yes.
this
Are you
Norman
done
does
with your
find that
circle?
bit of symbiote. The symbiote's now in play, and I'm
Yeah.
sure Norman. I mean, they still have a what? Do they still have a bunch of spiders or no?
I mean,
I don't know what their implication was. If like
I
that's
assume they
if that's
do.
I don't know if they're doing this thing where like because that Venom thing was destroying the lab. I don't know if it destroyed all the spiders and that one spider that came and bit Peter through the portal
Slid away.
what was the last one, or if that was the only spider that could transfer those abilities.
Actually, that was the only spider that was shown to get the blood in the show. So
no,
maybe
but
that was
they,
just the first
they
test.
but they showed that there were a bunch of spiders that they were using.
Oh,
They
no,
just
but
showed
it's-
one scene where the needle went down into a spider, but I took that as they were doing that with all
They're
the
doing it to a
spiders, not
bunch.
just like
I
here's
mean-
this spider, one, and there we go, that's one.
Or we can just assume that they just had a bunch of animals for animal testing, and they were not going to test on all of them at the same time. They were just doing one by one in case there was an issue. Because if you test on everything and they all die, you lose a bunch of spiders and a bunch of animals. It's
Just
better
grow-
to test on
grow
one,
some
study
more.
the test,
Well-
and then boom, boom, boom.
Well, I also think the animals were kind of trying to an Easter egg. I mean, I know there was an iguana, so I'm thinking
Easter
the
egg
lizard.
frag.
Lizard.
I mean, the only other animal I saw was a snake, and I was like, wait, there's no snake Spider-Man villain unless they're talking about Venom.
What,
But
'cause
that's
of
a
its
spider
tongue?
venom. So
Oh.
Wait,
no, like don't just because a
Venom,
snake
venom.
has venom.
yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but I was like, oh wait, there's probably more back there.
No,
So
they have to be.
I'll probably have to go back and pause that scene.
You will.
I know I will. I know I will.
Let us know.
Well, yeah, I will after I let you know how I felt about Eternals.
Oh my god.
The trajectory from here, though, Peter's obviously going to be Spider-Man, do a Spider-Man thing, no brainer.
Yeah.
Harry's path here, I think, is interesting because, you know, they're all now they all feel betrayed by Norman, Peter, and the interns.
Yeah.
They
Except
don't
for
they
that
don't
one
necessarily,
guy.
except for Amadeus Cho, right? And that's good to point out because he's an ass, or just kind of big-headed.
Yeah.
And I think that's comic accurate that he would, you know, stick around with Norman and feel.
Is
good
he a
about
comic
himself.
character?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
he is. Yeah.
Do we know
Should
what
we
he
tell
becomes?
him who he is?
Yeah, just tell me.
He's the Hulk. One of them.
He is a Hulk.
A Hulk.
Another one. Oh god, which one?
Just
He's
a
just a
Hulk.
green?
Just
He's
another green
called,
Hulk.
well, he's called like there's like a adjective in front of it, like the awesome Hulk or something.
Okay, you see.
Oh, because his
Not to
name's
deviate.
Amadeus. Because
Okay,
I don't know. I don't know if it's awesome, but he's supposed to be blank Hulk. Like there's a word in front of it. I just can't think of it.
but you see, not
The
to.
totally awesome Hulk is what he's
Oh,
called.
God.
Okay, you see, for me, this is what I absolutely despise comic, not to deviate, just because it's a lack of imagination with characters. They could have given this guy all any power possible, and all they did was turn him into one of the 50 Hulks that already exist. That's boring to me.
I mean,
Like,
I don't know his story. And actually, now I'm a little more curious.
I mean,
I
what can
just
his story be? He got his blood got infected to gamma radiation, and he becomes the Hulk. Like,
Oh
it's
no,
dumb.
it's self done though. That's
Oh
the
yeah, that's what I'm
difference.
saying. Like, he infected
Yeah.
himself with gamma radiation. Like, that is lazy writing. I absolutely hate comics because of that. Like, I don't need 50,000 goddamn Hulks. Give me some new people.
I
But
mean,
this one's a kid.
He's a kid, and I also think if it adds to his character, if part of me feels, and comic book fans can correct me, but part of me feels it was very much like he's like arrogant. He's like, I could do it better than Banner. I could be a Hulk and
Yeah.
not have to rage out to do it. I'll show the world. That's
Okay.
I feel that's part of the character, and at least I imagine they're probably gonna go down that route
Most
with
likely.
this guy.
Yup.
Yeah,
He has an ego.
he has an ego.
Does.
Yeah. He's the sixth smartest man in the Marvel universe.
That's not good enough.
Who's the first five?
I think the first five are probably Reed Richards. I guess
You have
Tony's
Iron
up
Man.
there.
Yeah, he has to be.
I also think I think Ironheart is usually part of these lists as well.
Isn't
It
Ironheart?
could be Doctor Doom also. Doctor Doom was pretty smart.
Wait, is it the top? Wait, the smartest
there's an
men
actual
or the smartest people? In
the smartest people,
Oh,
smartest
okay.
people. Like I think in universe there's like a list. I'll try to find it. And
Does that
share
include
it before
villains?
we're down here.
I mean, yeah,
I
Doctor
think
Doom
so,
was on
yeah.
the
He's
list.
saying he thinks Doom, maybe.
I mean,
Professor
Yeah,
Professor
no, I
X,
think so.
okay.
Yeah, I don't think it would not include villains.
Mm.
Okay.
I'm trying to find an official list. I'll try to find it, or if
That's
anybody in chat tries or finds it. So yeah, he's sticking around with Osborn. I'm sure their egos will feed one another.
Yeah.
What else? Janine.
Yeah,
Was her name
Jean.
Janine?
Jean, I think. Jean.
Jean. Did you like her reveal? She's the inside woman.
Her name was
It's-
Fitness, right?
Finesse.
What kind of name is Finesse? Like,
Like
what
a
is her
finesse,
superpower?
like a
What is
finesse
her
shot.
superpower?
It's a fitting name if you know her comic book origins.
What is her superpower?
She can
you
do
wanna know her comic book?
a finesse shot in FIFA 25.
Oh, that's really
I mean,
difficult.
she probably could. I do you want to know?
Yes, I really don't care for.
I
comic
really don't
stuff.
care for her. She did not seem that
She-
interesting.
She's the daughter, and spoiler warning for people in chat too. She's the daughter of Taskmaster.
Okay.
I have no idea what that is.
You know who Taskmaster is, Hosey.
Which one is that?
Yeah,
The from Avengers, the Square Enix game, the one that Black Widow fights.
Oh, that loser.
Yes, that
The one at the
loser.
beginning of the game.
Yes, that's
Correct.
Taskmaster.
So
with
she
the skull.
disappointed. Yeah, so she disappointed her dad and decided to become a hero.
Correct.
well, not sure how it went down in this universe, but now she's Daredevil's sidekick.
I don't care for her. She's basic. Like,
yeah, give me Daredevil. I really don't care for her.
Wow. Okay. Problematic.
She's doing flips
Sure.
and tricks. That's boring.
Yeah.
Boring.
I've seen Robin do the same thing.
No, it's the photo reflexive reflexes.
What?
She can copy everybody.
Did she
She
do
can
that
come-
in the show?
When
She
that
hasn't done it yet in the
But-
show.
Okay, so
Technically,
she's
can
not
she-
interesting. I don't
Wait,
know
can
what
she really can't she really do that? Because without practice, she could tear a muscle.
Listen, the
Have you tried doing
idea-
a split?
The
If you
idea,
copy somebody doing a split, if you do a split, I'm pretty sure it's not gonna end well for you. You're gonna end up in the hospital.
the
So
idea is she can copy it. I don't know if she has to put
what?
work
She has
into
a
it.
Sharingan? Like she's a
It's essentially
Lucia?
what it is. It's essentially a Sharingan, but for taijutsu only.
Oh my god.
She can't
Dumb
copy.
power.
Wow.
What? She's gonna
Okay.
see the Hulk jump and say, "I'm gonna copy him and jump like what?
No,
A
because
couple
that's
feet into the
power
air."
based. She can't do power based.
Okay, let's
She
go with
could.
that. Who would win, her or Batman? She can copy Batman.
She can. She
Mm.
can, but she can still get bested though.
So you're saying Batman could lose to her?
She could. I mean, he could, but he can also still win.
Let me tell you why her powers suck. Her power is copying, but without being able to copy the abilities or the strength. The
Yeah,
same
copying the
way,
abilities is like
the same
Rogue.
way, if you watch the Summer Olympic and you see girls doing gymnastic, good luck doing that if you've never done it. Your body is really gonna break apart. She can copy all she wants. I think it's a stupid power. That's all I want to say.
Sure, fair enough.
Yes.
Nico in her mystical origins and
Raven, right?
not Raven.
Yeah,
No,
What is it?
Raven.
it is not Raven.
Emo god. She has purple gem like Raven on her forehead, but they give her a necklace because it's hip and cool now to have a necklace.
So everybody's Raven, huh? You can't wear purple, be goth, be emo without
No.
being Raven, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And she opens up a portal like Raven.
She did?
I don't know if that was a portal. I think she was just talking to her mom.
Watch, speaking to thin air like a crazy person. I like to believe she opened some kind of portal or she did some kind of operation just like Raven.
Oh,
Am I
geez.
wrong?
I don't think it's like. I think they're similar. I don't think it's necessarily like Raven. I think they're similar.
Hey, all I know is that she
Yeah.
has a purple stone given to her by supposedly her mom, like Raven, because that's how Raven got her purple stone. You know that it was the mom.
You're going off of Teen Titans logic.
Teen Titans.
The show.
Yes, but still, Raven.
All
Sure,
these comic
sure.
book references.
Well, funny enough, again, I had that big issue about the greater Marvel in this show, but actually, I think the show it made me forget it. I'm kind of okay with how they've incorporated it. I don't feel it's like if you ever go watch that 2017 Spider-Man show,
Which
or
one?
it's that random one that came out after Ultimate Spider-Man.
20. You said 2017.
Like, yeah, that's the only way I can describe it because it came out in 2017.
You need to
I
stop
felt
living
all-
in the past and watching new shows.
Well, I know
Oh.
I never could get into that show because
I
it
like
was
that
bad.
one.
Which
That
one
one
was
was
it?
good.
What is
The
it called?
2017 one.
What is it called?
I think so. Let me
It's just
see.
called Spider-Man, and I have to say 2017 because it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
called Spider-Man.
Oh, is that the Disney one? Disney? No, Marvel Spider-Man.
think-
Marvel Spider-Man, right?
Marvel Spider-Man. Yeah.
That was
Let
like
me
the
double
boring
check.
title one that people said were like what was bad, I think.
Oh, never mind. I haven't seen that one. 'Cause I
Right. It's
see Spider-Gwen in there, and I never seen a show with Spider-Gwen.
yes, Spider-Gwen's in it. Miles is in it. Aranya is in it. There's
Oh,
a
he
bunch of
looks
other
weird.
things going in. I always felt how they did that and incorporated the greater Marvel in that show was done poorly. I think it's done very well here.
Okay.
Let me pause you a second. The art style looked like it was made by the Voltron people. Did they make it?
No,
that's not
no.
Studio Mer.
Yeah, no. Or the same because like the people who did Voltron worked on Avatar, the character designs.
Which
They're
Avatar?
actually like Avatar, Last Airbender.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of their designs are very similar.
What studio
Um,
made this?
It's
one?
Marvel Animation.
I mean, you know they didn't do it. They probably
Well,
like,
it's not
subbed this
Marvel
into somebody else.
Studios animation. It was before Marvel Studios was producing in-house.
Yeah, it had
So-
to be given to somebody else to do.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't see that one.
It's I don't know many people that have.
I've heard of it out of people spiting the show because I've never heard
Damn.
it called 2017 Spider-Man. I've heard it called Marvel's Spider-Man because they try to differentiate it by having the Marvel moniker, because on the title on the title card of that series, it has the Marvel logo at the very top.
Right.
And people would reference this series saying how bad it was, that they did not like it at all.
I thought he was talking about the other cartoon one, because there was another one before when they
Ultimate?
were in high school.
Ultimate.
Yeah, Ultimate. Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah,
Ultimate
no.
gets shat on a lot too, but
by people that are dumb. Yes, we have
I
agreed to
think
that.
Ultimate is better than the 2017 show, though.
I mean, it was good. I liked it. People didn't know what they had.
Ultimate just came at the poor time of, you know, the untimely demise of Spectacular. So people had Spectacular on the brain, and they were never going to fully accept Ultimate. But also,
Let's
Ultimate's
see.
first season was like not good.
Actually, no, not Ultimate 2012. It's another one.
Spectacular.
Yeah, it had to be Spectacular Spider-Man 2008, because I remember that was the one where they were in high school.
Yes, and that's the GOAT.
Yeah, that was the one I thought you were talking about, because I didn't see the 2012 or the 2017 one. Yeah, 2008 Spider-Man. That was the best Spider-Man show right there.
It's the GOAT. It's the GOAT.
Yeah.
All right, Nico. Harry is doing his own company, which I imagine at some point, Harry versus Norman trying to get Peter, they'll come to blows.
Yeah.
But again, there's probably going to be a fallout with that. If something bad happens to either one of them, Peter's relationship is tarnished with the other.
No, it really is. It's gonna follow the same storyline as the Spider-Man video game, the sequel, where Harry tried to create his own company. At the beginning is great. He's gonna pull all those talent toward his company. Then he's gonna realize he doesn't know how to run a company. He's either gonna run to that, or everything's gonna explode in his face and gonna fall apart, and he's gonna have his villain arc. Like,
Yeah.
Or
That's
vice
really-
versa. Or vice versa.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
dad too.
yeah.
Yep.
And the dad's gonna do like a takeover, like, of the company. As simple as that. Or they could do with him doing eco green stuff also, but I mean, who knows?
And did you pause the screen on the people on Harry's list?
I saw too many names. I assume one of y'all would tell me who those people are. Because
I mean, I only caught a few. I only knew a few.
come on, you Google all of them. Don't be ashamed.
Oh no,
We already know.
no. I'm gonna let chat either take that or any comic book fans that sign off. The only ones I recognize were Max Dillon, that's Electro.
Villain.
Ned.
Wait,
Ned Leeds.
I thought the girl was Electro because she had those arm stuff, like the first villain.
Oh.
Wait, who?
Wait, who?
Remember? Okay, remember the
with
gang?
the little sword?
No. Remember the girl, like the one that escaped when her entire gang got into prison? She also had a couple gauntlets.
You mean the unicorn?
Yeah.
Oh, the
she's
Russian.
The unicorn.
Oh, she's the unicorn. That's her power.
That's her name. Yeah, that's her gimmick.
She's just the unicorn.
The thing on her head.
Yeah, I assumed that that's what they were gonna do with her, but I guess I don't know.
No, the only ones I see, Max Dillon, that's your Electro, and Ned Leeds, that's well, that's also based on Ned.
The Classify. I said you said Ned.
Oh, Declassified.
I said Ned.
No.
People are not gonna get that reference unless you.
No,
I think they would.
Yeah.
No, they get that reference. No, Ned Leeds based on like Ned from like Homecoming. Or they might do the Ned Leeds that turns into the Hobgoblin.
Most likely Hobgoblin. Yeah. I mean, I didn't care for the Homecoming Ned, but yeah.
Well, the Homecoming Ned is basically really ganky, but it's whatever.
Yeah. But that's it.
I feel
you watched the show 2 times.
I know we already talked about Tombstone and he his dark path.
Yes.
There was Otto. He's
actually
deciding he needs his extra legs.
Wait, wasn't Tombstone also invited to the company?
He was. He's not on the list though.
Which again proves my point from
invited.
earlier that he's smart enough to be invited.
I think Peter's just trying to get him out of that life.
Are you saying it was just a DEI initiative?
Wow.
Nah, because it's headed by Harry. So nah.
I mean, Apple was edited by a Syrian. That was Steve Jobs.
Listen, you know what? I'm not in charge.
Can we jump to
Okay.
the big reveal already
That's
at the
what
very
I'm
end?
fine.
Which
The
one?
big
Raven?
reveal.
The big
No.
Raven, yes.
Yeah.
Raven is not the big. No, the big reveal is May goes to the prison to do have that one-on-one,
Oh
and
yes.
it's who'd you think it was? I thought it was Uncle Ben.
I thought she was just dating a gangster or something, and it was gonna be a future villain.
I
Because it was
thought
gonna be something like, oh, she's so nice, but she's secretly dating one of his future villain or something. I don't know.
I thought it was gonna be Uncle Ben too. It being Peter's dad does raise a concern that I think kind of falls back onto the issues that the Amazing Spider-Man films fell into.
Ooh.
Oh, that's right. That was
and-
the plot.
And that was the plot. And it was a bad plot because one of the core tenets of why Spider-Man is the way that he is that he came from nothing. He was just some random kid that was bit by a spider and he became the Spider-Man.
Nothing. He was
Vers-
raising a loving family.
Of
with Uncle
course.
Ben and Aunt May. That's nothing. That's family.
That's
Well,
listen.
he's a guy who has a bunch of unexpected curveballs coming. So he lost his parents. He lost his uncle.
He's your
Like
average
his
Joe.
uncles after the Spider-Man.
He's your average Joe that's went through a lot of loss. The Amazing Spider-Man duology tried flipping that on its head and instead said, but what if Peter was actually from parents that were heavily involved in the research involving spiders and Oscorp, and he was actually the descendant of someone very important? You lost the plot. You lost the plot. Once they started doing that, and some people are gonna say, yeah, but they didn't do a third movie to close out the story. I don't care.
There's a reason they didn't do a third
There's a
movie.
reason why. There's a reason why.
It didn't work the first goddamn time.
It didn't work. So
I mean-
them doing this with Peter's dad being alive and in prison, they haven't said anything with it yet, but it raises a concern where I'm like, okay, clearly his father, that's the twist, his father's alive. What kind of importance are they going to give him in the plot? Why is he in prison? Is he a like, what is this?
It can be a supervillain because May is talking to him. So he needs to be something where he was accused of a crime, but May still believe he's innocent, which leads me to believe they're following the Amazing Spider-Man plot.
I mean, there's been times where he's a spy.
I mean, but you see, is spying really a crime? Well, yes, spying can be a crime depending on how you do it. But I mean, to me, like he must have done something that has to be in a gray area for May to be talking to him, unless May
also
is a
for May
hypocrite.
to not. But also Peter, Peter has said to somebody to Harry, he said both my parents are dead.
Yes, and again, that is an issue. How, like, if both his parents are dead, there must have been something where he never gone to their graves or any of those things, or like I'm
Correct.
guessing, like we have to assume he must have been a baby when they died, to the point where they decided to shield the fact that his dad was dead, and he never did any research on his parents or any of those things. He never found any document, any news article, which leads me to believe that his dad has to be some kind of low-end villain, or that was accused of a typical crime, like he killed the wife. But May believes he's innocent. And if they do that, that's the Amazing Spider-Man plotline. And that's not good.
I don't think it's anything involving death because
I mean, he's been in prison for at this point at least a decade.
we don't know how long he's been in prison for, though.
I mean, but we have to assume, properly. We know that Peter is 15 years old in this, right? And he must have
16.
16,
Yeah.
15, 16. He must have disappeared long enough for Peter not to remember him and Peter believing he was dead, which means Peter had to be young enough for the adult in his life to have lied to him about it. Again, if we go by the basis that Peter was a drooling idiot as a kid, we can say maybe it was 5 years ago. But I like to believe Peter must have been, I'm not a toddler, but maybe 5, 6 years old, max.
I think it goes to one of those things where it's like for him to, because again, he's smiling in the prison, right? The dad is.
Yeah.
He's smiling in that scene. So I just don't buy it that if he was framed for murdering like the mother, that he would be in the context of, so how's my son doing, May? Like just smirking to himself. I would imagine he'd be miserable, like saying, "Tell
But
me."
you see,
Oh, hold up.
That's assuming
The dad showed a picture of, and the dad
he did.
clearly knew Peter. Yeah, I'm looking at it right
Oh
now.
yeah, there was
Yeah.
a picture. Peter's like
Yeah,
what?
Peter's
Like a
he's older
toddler?
than 5.
He's older than
He's,
5.
Okay,
he's like looks like 8
It's in
or
that
9,
scene.
actually.
It's in that scene where he's the one that has the photo. He puts it on the table, and then you see the photo of them two together.
Yeah, Peter's parents died, and I guess they covered it up for whatever reason.
I mean, like, then where is he in prison? Like, he must have somehow. To me, it's less believable. I don't know what trick they're gonna use to lead us to believe that somehow Peter, like, they lied to Peter.
Just didn't know.
Like, come on, like,
Wasn't smart enough to put it together.
I mean, there's that, but like, what reason is there to lie at this point? Like,
There's
to me,
there's
it's
a story.
weird.
There's a story,
story to
that's
tell.
And that's
the
lazy
purpose.
writing.
We can't call it lazy writing because we don't know what it is.
Building, that's what I'm saying.
We don't know what that is.
Because I don't know. I want to believe it's lazy writing. That's all it is.
It's,
until they prove me wrong.
God.
It's guilty
it's
until
it's a
proven
cliffhanger.
innocent.
It's a literal
Guilty until
cliffhanger.
proven
It's
innocent.
barely like a step. Like, that's not a cliff.
You don't
Looking
know
at-
the results.
Yeah, looking this. Yeah, Peter is a grown kid. Like, Peter at least looks like he had to be close to middle school age in that point. If Peter somehow at that age was told that his dad died, and I mean, to be fair, maybe Peter thought about it symbolically. Maybe to him, his dad was dead because of the crime he committed. That would add a layer of onion, you know? on
I
top
mean,
of
I
what
always
it is.
said they were kind of vague with the Ben stuff. Like, they didn't outright say Ben passed away.
I mean,
So,
where do you think he is?
well, I don't know. But the fact that the dad has now showed up, it sounds like this entire time it's been misdirection to have this reveal of the dad. Because now I'm over here thinking I still need confirmation about Ben, but now they're going to make me forget about whether Ben's alive or not,
Nah,
and what the hell's going on with the dad. Because now, forget Ben, the dad's alive. What the heck is he doing in
The
prison?
dad killed Ben.
No,
Maybe.
but yeah, maybe he did,
Maybe.
and he's happy about it.
Yes.
Yeah,
And he's in love with May. That would be a trick.
I mean, he said, "You look good, May."
He said,
let's
"No."
cut the
He
small
said, "You
talk.
look damn good, May." That's what he said.
I don't think he said all that.
It's implied with his eyes.
Yeah, and he was smiling. Why are you smiling?
Exactly. You don't smile that hard.
Sure. He was voiced by Josh Keaton, the great Josh
I
Keaton
definitely know who that
from
is.
Spectacular Spider-Man. Oh, you do?
No.
Oh, whatever.
You need to pick up on the sarcasm, Grandmaster.
Josh Keaton. Y'all need to pick up on your fandom. Josh Keaton was the voice of Spectacular Spider-Man.
Okay.
I guess.
I think that's a nice little kind of full
Homage.
circle thing.
Yeah.
Funny enough, actually, Josh Keaton did the voice of Norman Osborn on the 2017 Spider-Man series.
And they brought him back.
They love him.
Can you imagine if they, since time travel's involved and like multiverse stuff, shenanigans are confirmed here? Can you imagine if this version of Peter's father is some time looped version from Spectacular Spider-Man, and that
he's
is still
Spider-Man.
Peter Parker?
Oh,
Okay,
that
even better.
Is that cool? Could that be cool? That could be cool.
They
right?
have to write it very well, otherwise
You know
it's
what?
dumb.
What if he appears in the next Spider-Verse movie? That would be cool also.
Well,
This?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I
this
mean,
version.
I don't know if any of this is touching the Spider-Verse.
I mean,
but
it
I
can make
do.
he can just make a light reference to it. He doesn't need to have a speaking
Yeah,
scene.
like you see him in the
It could just-
background.
Yeah, it's just him walking in the background being goofy with Raven.
Oh my gosh! I mean, they could.
What's her name? What's her power? As of right now, we have to assume it's Raven.
I do believe, though. Well, as far as Spider-Verse is concerned, I think the '90s Spider-Man will be making an appearance. in the next
90s
Spider-Verse film.
Spider-Man. Oh,
The 90s
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Man
Yeah,
show.
original,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that'll be cool.
But I mean, I think season 2 has a lot going on to continue the investment
And
in this
nothing has been
series.
announced, right? We don't know when it's supposed to
And
come out.
no release date. Yeah,
No
2 years,
release
3
date.
years.
honestly, I would like to wait no more than a year.
Yeah, I feel
Uh,
like it should be out by the fall, like especially since it's been announced already, and we have to assume had started production immediately after the first. There was no break.
correct.
Like I would like for it to come out by December. Like it should be a yearly show. Like I really hate when shows takes 2 years. COVID is over. Put these people back in the office. Give them their 7 to 7 work day so they can put out shows.
I mean, I'm kind of with you.
Good.
I don't
No
know.
union. Overwork these people.
I mean, I like this show a lot, and I do want them to take their time on it. But I'm also
Somewhat of a
like,
show, we know.
well, I'm also just like 2
Right.
years because like X-Men '97, we're not. I don't even think we're getting that next year.
Well, that's
you
going
see.
through hell right now.
Right. Yeah.
And it makes absolutely zero sense that all of these billion-dollar companies cannot hire adequate people to pull out yearly shows. It makes zero sense, especially when the animation is not that impressive, especially for this show. We all agree the animation throughout the entire show has been subpar, except for the last episode, which was well done. It doesn't require movie level quality for each episode, so we should be seeing yearly shows coming out, in my opinion.
I mean, they may not be paying them enough.
They don't need to.
This or
The
X-Men
animation is mid.
97?
Oh, I meant this show.
No.
X-Men
I'm
97
I'm asking in general, like preference wise, this or X-Men 97.
Oh, I mean, it's I like them. I
X-Men
like them
97
both.
for me.
They give me different. They both give me different things.
I
X-Men
haven't seen
97.
97 yet. So I need to
oh,
watch it.
Toasty,
you
you're
have-
wasting
wow.
time. Whatever issues you had with this series, go and watch X-Men 97 after this.
No, I heard it was amazing.
It
Don't
was
get me wrong.
extremely well done, and that covers everything. The
see,
story,
to
the
me-
animation, everything.
But you see, to me, it's one of those issues where I don't want to say I didn't want to see it. I just stopped caring once I realized there was not going to be a follow-up season.
There is
Because
going to
to
be a
me-
follow-up season.
Yeah,
yeah.
but-
There's gonna
No,
be a
but
season. Yeah.
with the timeline of how Western animation are creating their shows, like it's too big. There's too big of a gap between their show, and there's not enough content to cover those gaps. I feel like every time we cover a show or an animated show, we have to wait 2 to 3 years for the next part, and by then I lost interest. Like, you know,
Don't worry,
You're
you're
thinking
getting
of
Invincible.
Invincible.
Yeah, you're getting Invincible annually now.
you know what? I'm not. Let's not even talk about that show because the animation in that show, like, yeah, I don't know who they fired, but they need to do a better job.
Or they just really need to pay their people more, their animators more. Somebody said
too.
I saw a tweet talking about the backwardsness of CGI, and they always refer to Davy
Oh.
Jones.
Yeah. Okay.
And the consensus is we're not moving backwards. We're just not paying them the same amount that we were paying them before.
Actually,
Mm.
no, it's not that only. I actually saw somebody make a comment over that, and they said that their dad was the one that animated that scene.
Yeah,
and they
that's
said,
the one yeah.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure they also said it was the technology that evolved because there's another post I saw also where they showed a movie that was filmed at night. So if you go watch the 2002 Spider-Man, any scene that's filmed at night, it's clear.
Oh,
You can see everything.
The lighting.
The lighting.
Yeah.
But for example, once you get into the mid 2010, and the best example of that is Game of Thrones. I'm sure you all remember the Battle of Winterfell, where it was completely black and people were trying to fix their TV settings, saying, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Something involved with the technology. And I don't know what's going on. Maybe it made it easier for them to animate, but it threw everything out of funk. That's all it is. I don't think it's paying any animator for that. Like, I think it's the technology that needs to evolve.
I don't know what needs to happen. I will say, but to your point,
AI.
they do
That's
need
what's gonna
to
happen.
they do need to get these out quicker because yeah, these gaps between these seasons are too big, and for a
It is.
show that genuinely is pretty well received, which we can now give our scores, uh, people will lose interest. I know myself. I will watch it come a second season, but God forbid it's like 3 years between.
Yeah, that's too much. Like we saw it right here with
It won't be.
Captain America Dark World. We waited like 2 to 3 years between the
You
show
just said
and the
Captain
movie.
America: Dark World.
Oh, Brave World. It was a dark world to me. But anyway, Brave World, we saw it right now. That's the perfect example. 99% of us cannot remember what happened in the show. And they need to fix that. Like, yeah. And
Alas,
yeah,
what can
I
you
don't know.
do? But this season, for sure. I mean, good, great,
Yeah,
hate
ready
it,
for the rating.
ready for the rating.
Let's just
Sure.
skip Grandmaster 10 out of 10. Move out the
I
way.
wasn't gonna give it a 10.
I'm sorry, a 9.9 because there's no perfect grade anywhere.
I wouldn't give it a 9.9.
Okay. Go.
I would give this a solid 8.5.
Wow.
I'm sitting at an 8.5 right now. I do believe the stride was hit, I think, by episode 4. Or no, I'm sorry, episode 3. Episode 3. The first 2 episodes were decent, but I know we didn't really know what kind of show it was at first, so it's kind of awkward, some of the bits, and we talked about this in our initial review of those. But by episode 3, where Norman is now involved, I think that's when the show hit its stride, and it just kind of never let up. I think from episode 3 onward, the characters and their interactions were well done. The story, as we've been saying, carried a lot of this show. And I actually do really just like kind of the different take that they're taking with Spider-Man and this story. Now, mind you, it might just be setting us up for a rug pull. Like I've been saying, is Norman evil? I don't actually know. Uh, but I'm genuinely
He's not a
invested.
hero.
He's not a hero, but I'm genuinely invested in where we go from here. And uh, as far as a Spider-Man show goes, I haven't been invested since Spectacular, which at this point is more than a decade ago, which is kind of crazy to say.
That's yes. It's 17 years ago. Holy shit.
Which is wild.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
I can go next. I was actually gonna give it an 8.5. That was my rating at the beginning also. I thought you were gonna give it higher because of that. Here's my thing.
No, yeah.
You give it a straight up B, not even a B plus. That's a B. That's like average.
That's fine. It's fine. That's fine. Season 2 might come and push it to a 10.
But you know what? With the Grandmaster curve, he probably wants to give it a 9.5. But let's move on.
Are you giving it a curve?
He's definitely curving it to a 9.5.
I have to watch it 3 times, remember?
All right, eventually it'll be a 10.
Yep.
Exactly.
Don't say. I give the show 8.5 just because it's Spider-Man, right? As cliche as it is, I like Spider-Man. Spider-Man is one of those villains, just like Batman. I don't like Superman. I don't care for the Flash. Green Lantern, some version of Green Lantern is good, but Spider-Man and Batman, those are the two universe. I watch a lot of their content. I just like it because it's simple, right? My mistake was obviously character design and character animation. To me, the character just looked atrocious. The side character just looked disgusting. The scene just did not flow really well.
Disgusting. And, Jesus.
Yeah, disgusting with a capital D. Like, ew, disgusting. Like, you guys seen a couple of the pictures, at least one of the pictures I sent to you guys, where it was a freeze frame of Aunt May in the first episode. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, come on. Like, that was my first, I guess, interaction with it. However, I do feel sorry for the people that dropped it early on because of the animation, because it has improved throughout the show. And I'm not sure how I feel about this, because I feel that's a problem in a lot of animation studio nowadays, where instead of having something at least good all throughout. They choose to have something horrible in some scene and great in other scenes. And because of that, they tend to lose a lot of the audience at the garbage scene. Like, yeah, like for me, the first episode I saw it, I was almost ready to give it up. If I didn't have Disney Plus and it was not recommended to me, I would have dropped it. But thank God I kept up with it because the story was that good. If this story was in 2008 Spider-Man animation, that show would be a 10 out of 10. Well, not a 10 out of 10, but it would be a 9.5 just because it will look good and the story will be good. But it is what it is. 8.5.
Less is more.
Yeah. Hoping that they learn their lesson because for all we know, the animation will drop during second season and that would suck. And we've seen it with other shows.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be pessimistic about it. I don't think the animation's gonna improve at all.
You think it's gonna decrease?
I don't think it's gonna decrease. I just don't see it getting better.
It's gonna stay exactly
the same. And to me, that's my biggest problem with the series was its animation. Like for me, I'm at an 8. I'm not giving it any more than an 8 because what carried it for me was the story. The story past episode 1 was really good. And I liked the mysteries and like the relationship with Norman and his pettiness with Octavius. All that was freaking hilarious. But I like that. But when shit hit the fan and it was time to showcase like the fight sequences, some of you guys were saying it got better like in the Scorpion fight. For me, I wasn't seeing it. To me,
I would say the Venom fight. The Venom fight was where the animation peaked for me.
The Venom
was kind of Scorpion could have been better because it seems that there was almost the frame was kind of slow the way it was hitting.
Yes, it was.
If it was a video game, it was not 60 FPS. Let's just go with that. We know shows are not filming 60 FPS, but just to give a symbolism, it was not a 60 FPS fight. It was not smooth. It was a lag to the fight. But the Venom fight was good.
I will say the Venom fight was somehow a little bit better in terms of animation, but I feel like that's the biggest thing that is turning people away from this series. It's that goddamn animation.
You see,
that's its biggest its biggest issue. That's its biggest issue.
That's my fear that it's gonna get worse in the second season because a lot of the studios in Hollywood tend to hire the same company or the same group of people or people that have the same general skills. And when I see something like Invincible season 1 and the current season of Invincible, you obviously see an animation drop. Most people might not see it clearly because the show still looks good and the animation was already good. But a show like this, so the animation was bad at the beginning, if it gets worse, I don't think the story can carry it. It will be unwatchable. It might be something that just turns you off and you're like, dude, I can't watch this. And at the end, you just say, you know, I'm just going to watch a summary or read a summary of what happened.
True. I mean, yeah, it's one of those series that, for me, season 2, I'm looking forward to it just for the story and see where it goes and see what villains get showcased and which ones. And Raven, yes. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. It's an 8. They did a good job. You see, that's how you critique a show. You don't just go in blindly saying it's gonna be so good. Aren't you excited? Consume all Marvel products. Consume.
Nobody came in like that.
I wasn't talking.
Why did you come to the defense? I was
just
speaking
saying,
in generalization.
Nobody came in like that.
I was speaking in
I'm just saying,
in generalization.
Also, the marketing for this show, they really held back on the marketing as far as what they chose to show in the trailer.
They were embarrassed.
Bad. Yeah, the animation.
I don't think they're embarrassed. They just didn't show the best parts.
But they couldn't show the best part. If they did, people would be mad because most of the show was not built up, at least at the beginning, to be the best part. Imagine if they show all the best part in the trailer and you watch the first couple episodes where it was not that good yet, you would immediately drop it. You would be disappointed.
Well, that's why I say try not to go too crazy off of the trailers and let them dictate, whether you watch it or not.
I mean, but I will say, watch the trailer. They just hyped it up nonstop.
No, I'll just say, as far as the trailer goes, I've seen better trailers.
That's right.
Yeah.
I've seen better shows and movies too, like Eternals.
Yeah. Again, if someone, I'll come back to my earlier statement. If someone wants to argue this is their favorite Spider-Man show, I would hear them out.
It can only be your favorite if you only watch this. If you watch some of the older shows and you say this is your favorite, your opinion is null and void. It should not be taken seriously.
All right.
I would hear them out. But I guess that wraps it for your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 1. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. If you don't care, then be square.
Go watch 2008 Spider-Man. You won't regret it.
Spectacular. People will vet for spectacular till the day they die.
It was amazing.
It was spectacular, some would say.
Yes.
Oh, there's a poll. Was the season finale spectacular? 0% said no. It was okay. 25%.
That was me. I voted.
An overwhelming 75% of the 8 votes said yes. The finale was spectacular. So give it a watch, folks, if you haven't watched it yet. Season 2, I'm sure, is around the corner somewhere. And
see you in 2 years.
We'll see you when we see you. But that's it for us here at the Yonko table. Ain't that right, Dr. Jace?
That is right. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, folks at home, thank you for listening on your various podcast stations. What Spotify,
YouTube, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, Twitter at the Yonko table. Give us a like, give us a shout out, and we will see you in the comment section as to whether or not your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is a good enough show, or if it was mid, or if it was ass. Tell us what you think down below. But with that, folks, I am your Yonko host, Dr. JaceAttorney, fellow Yonko Grandmaster Hoop and Supernova Toasty. How do you want to end this? Let's see. Here we go again.
Okay, I have to say the song was catchy at the end. I did catch myself humming to it. I hated it at first.
That song
toward
was
the end. I was like,
that song was cringe as hell. But over time, over the past several weeks, it was like, you know what? This song is shit, but it grows on you after a while.
Yeah.
How's it taking off the mask? I promise I'm still me. Nothing changed. No, this is the real me. I need my city. It need me. A hero, not a vigilante. Taking off the mask, I know what you see. You know you want a neighbor like me. There goes the Spider-Man.
Gross.
Recording stop.